What is going on, MLB The Dynasty? It's Flex, the commissioner, here to bring you this week's edition of the Fantasy Flex. Basically, we're going to go into the standings. American standings, you got the Rays at 4-1 still. Then you got the Yankees 3-1-1, half a game back, followed by the Dodgers, who were 2-1, a game and a half back. Then we got the Tigers and the Brewers, both 2 games back with records of 2-3. Moving on over to the national standings, you got the Phillies and the Cardinals on top of that division tied up at 3-1-1. Then 1.5 game back, you have the Mets at 2-3. The Braves are 1-3-1, 2 games back, and the Giants on the year still seeking for their first win. They're 0-4, so they're 3 games back in their division. Now moving on up, we'll get into last week's matchups. Those went a little something like this. You had the Yankees taking on the Tigers. That matchup, I'm trying to block out the light, man. I know it's like an eclipse. It's killing y'all. The Yankees taking on the Tigers, 9-5 in that matchup. Yankees came out on top. Then you had the Braves taking on the Dodgers. That score also went 9-5. Dodgers taking that matchup. Cardinals taking on the Giants. Guess what the score was? 9-5. Cardinals taking that matchup. Now the smash matchup of the week, that was the Rays taking on the Brewers. You would think it'd be a little closer than it was, but that matchup went to the Rays, 11-3. Then you got the Phillies taking on the Mets on the closest matchup of the week. That went 7-6-1 in favor of the Phillies. So we move on up, moving on down, getting into the previews for Week 6. Week 6 previews, they go a little something like this. You got the 3-1-1 Yankees. They're taking on the 1-3-1 Braves. The 4-1 Rays are taking on the 3-1-1 Cardinals. Then you got the 2-3 Brewers taking on the 3-1-1 Phillies. The Tigers, who are 2-3, are taking on the 2-3 Mets as well. So that's, status movement, trying to move up on the standings. Then you got the 2-1 Dodgers taking on the 0-4-1 Giants. So the Giants are still seeking their first win of the year. Good luck to you guys. Stay active. You should be able to do it. Now we move on over to the league leaders in the league. Basically the best part of the show. The Dynasty League leaders, you got in runs, that's going to the Brewers, who just took out the Phillies. As you know, the Phillies were, Triple Crown and all that. They were pretty much locking down all the hitting categories. But the Brewers have that now with 242 runs. Home runs, that stays with the Phillies with 74 home runs on the year so far. Extra base hits, that's going to the Phillies with 186 extra base hits. Total bases, guess who? That's going to the Phillies, 728 bases on the year so far. RBIs, that's going to the Phillies as well, 244 RBIs through the first 5 weeks of the season. Switching it up, we got the Mets, who's taking the category in stolen bases with 53 stolen bases on the year. And then we switch it up one more time over to the average. That's going to the Rays with a 280 average through the first 5 weeks of the year. So that is the league leading standings in the hitting categories. We move on over now and switch on over, hit the clutch, move on down to the pitching categories. Innings pitched, that's going to the Rays with 424 innings pitched. Ks and wins, those categories are both going to the Rays as well. He's got 369 strikeouts on the year, along with 32 wins on the year. Now, hand in hand with that, you got the losses. He's got the most losses as well, but I won't even throw that out there. But the league leaders in losses, meaning having the least amount of losses, is myself, the Yankees, and San Francisco Giants. We both have 12 losses on the year so far. ERA, that's going to the Giants with the 2.93 ERA. WHIP is also going to the Giants with a 1.14 WHIP. Save holds, that's going to the Yankees with 30 save holds on the year so far. And let's get into the best part of the show. Trophies. The I Get It In trophy. We had a tie this week, so we had 2 trophies given out for that. That's going to the Brewers and the Yankees, both 51 runs on the week. Going, gone. That's going to the Rays. He had 15 home runs on the week so far. Good job. The Ribby, that's going to the Mets with 50 RBIs on the week. Touching him up, that's going to the Rays. He had 144 total bases on the week. We got a runner, that's going to the Mets, 10 stolen bases on the year. Like I said, he is the stolen base category leader throughout the year so far. Better than your average, that's going to the Brewers for last week's average of 284. The You Can't See Me, that's going to the Rays, 93 strikeouts on the week. The Iron Horse, that's also going to the Rays, 102 innings pitched. Top of the Mountain, hey, they all go hand in hand. That's going to the Rays. He's got 9 wins. to get them out the game. That's getting split between two teams. You got the Dodgers and the Mets, both with 6 losses last week. So that was most losses out of the week. That spells relief is going to the Giants. He had 8 save holds on the week. Going up donuts, going to the Rays with a 2.27 ERA in last week's matchups. And throughout last week's matchups, the I Killed It and this week's Stinker Trophy going to the matchup that went to a score of 11-3. The man who killed it, the Rays. Last week's Stinker, this week's Stinker, that's going to the Brewers, man. So, I mean, step it up. You don't want to have that category on your resume. But like I said, it's just 1 week. We got plenty more to go. That is the trophies. That is the Fantasy Flex. Want to give shout outs to everybody that's been in the league so far, everybody that's been active, everybody doing your part. Yo, Bandits, I never got those instrumentals or other songs, so I just threw up instrumentals this week. Holla at me. I was just checking my email too before I did the show. About to run over, do another Fantasy Flex. See you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Flex out.